Howdy, ladies and gentlemen. This is Paul, the Redneck Thinker. Thomas Jefferson said, "If you want something you've never had, you must be willing to do something you've never done." Benjamin Franklin said, "Without continual growth and progress, such words as improvement, achievement, and success have no meaning." Basically, get off your duff, get to working, you've got dreams, you've got goals, you've got to do what it takes to get them. Like, subscribe, comment, show what your opinion is. Let me know if you like what you've seen. And I thank you for your support. We've got a time period now that we've got a whole bunch of people that can't seem to understand what leadership is. We've got an entire administration that is sitting up there that has no idea how to be leaders. They literally have made us a laughingstock in this country. The voters of this country have made us a laughingstock of the world. You don't think about this, most people don't think about this, but when you go out in the world and you see folks out there, they don't have time to have men dressing up like women. They don't have time to claim that they're not a single gender. I'm demonkin. I'm you call me demon they and demon those and whatever the heck they do. You don't think that doesn't sound silly to the folks that are scrambling for just to eat in Africa? Africa, you're going, why are you bringing up Africa? Well, Africa happens to be our battleground, not necessarily in a military sense, but a battleground in economic and trade sense, because most of the minerals that we need to go further in this world are sitting in Africa. And we need to work with those governments, but those governments are looking at us and going, these people ain't right in the head. Why are we wanting to deal with them? So, let's discuss this here. We've got a president who spends his day wandering around lost. Don't tell me he doesn't have dementia of some sort, or just is having diminished mental capabilities. Don't tell me that he doesn't. As there is a massive difference between him and a lot of people his age. I'm not sure his exact age. Let me look this up really quickly. Joe... Yeah, 46, U.S. President, Joe Biden. This man is 81 years old. Let's see here. What celebrities are in their 80s? Okay, so... No. Never mind. This went celebrities. Okay, here we go. Celebrities back. Okay. Barbra Streisand is 80. Unfortunately, she's still kicking. William Shatner is 91. Seriously, William Shatner is 91 years old. Dick Van Dyke, 96 years old. That man's still kicking it. Julie Andrews, 87. I haven't seen Diane Warwick in anything lately. Chuck Norris is 82. Martha Stewart, 81. Seriously, folks, I'm saying all of these people. You watch those people that I just named, especially Chuck Norris. Seriously, watch Chuck Norris in action. And then you watch Joe Biden. You can't tell me that there is not diminished mental facilities in a man who is already having diminished mental facilities, i.e. his low intelligence. You take a look. Okay, I want you to take a look at Vladimir Putin. He is the type of person that works out on a regular basis. You already know this because he has videos of himself doing these things. He's 71 years old. Does he look like he's 71? You take a look at, let's see here if I can find his name on here. Yep, 70. Xi Jinping. The feller that's running China and the Chinese Communist Party. He's 70. Yet, you take a look at Biden and he basically looks like he's a walking marshmallow. I'm not talking about because of weight or anything. I'm talking about his brain capacity. Seriously. We have a president that is causing the entire world to laugh at us. I am not kidding. They see him and then they see the people that are in his administration. We've got a surgeon general who, this dude just, if you're going to dress like a woman, can I please ask you to wear a burqa? Is that the right thing? The hijab or the burqa? That's something that I'm always confusing. Okay, the burqa. Yes, can we please get you to wear a burqa? If you're going to dress like a woman, please dress up in a burqa. It would be much appreciated. But then we've got Blinken. This is the Secretary of State. I mean, seriously. Antony Blinken, the Secretary of State, is just, honestly, he's not even worth paying attention to. I've been paying attention to him, and he's not even worth paying attention to. He was Deputy Secretary of State under Obama. He was Deputy National Security Advisor under Obama and under Susan Rice. National Security Advisor to the Vice President of the United States. So him and Biden have some connection. Under Clinton and Bush, he held senior foreign policy positions in two administrations over 2 decades. He was a member of the National Security Council 94 to 2001. 94 to 98, Blinken was special assistant to the president and senior director for strategic planning. Blinken supported the U.S.-led invasion of Iraq in 2003. He was appointed staff director for Senate Foreign Relations Committee, and he held that until 2008. Basically, he's just held political positions. That's all it looks like. I mean, seriously, where was this guy educated at? Oh, he's a Harvard and Columbia. He's a lawyer. And he was educated at Harvard and Columbia. He's from New York. I mean, seriously. We need to stop having these people go into office. You can't tell me, I mean, looking at this guy, you can't tell me that anybody considers him a serious player. I mean, I know that he thinks that he's a serious player. So, you've got a president who, honestly, is not even a serious threat to anybody but himself. You've got a Secretary of State who, just looking at him, does not inspire any kind of worry. Going against men who honestly act like they're men. They sit there and brag about stuff. I mean, Putin doesn't just brag about stuff. He has videos of himself doing things that Okay, rednecks probably would do some of the crap that he does, but you aren't going to see people that vote Democrat do these things. Yet the people that we have in office right now that are going up against Xi Jinping and Vladimir Putin and all these other folks, the Ayatollahs, and all of these people around the world, do you honestly believe that they're taken seriously? Now, I'm going to say this. You want to see a change in how things are done? Elect Donald Trump. You know why it's going to change? He was already seen, thanks to our media. He was already seen as a wild card. Oh, their media is claiming that he's a little insane. Actually, they were claiming he was a lot insane. He's been battling the Democrats all this time. He's going to be angry. Everybody knows this. He's already said this. Everybody that's going to be listening. You elect him to office. And the first thing that's going to happen is everybody's going to go, okay, let's not do anything hasty right now. Let's see what he's going to do. Nobody's going to want to push his buttons. Seriously. You don't think that his choices are not going to be sitting there going, let's see what happens when we push things a little bit, because, well, everybody's going to be afraid of what Trump is going to do. So, if you're a liberal listening to this, consider this for a minute. You sit there and you worry about these countries going to war. Oh, Crimea and Ukraine and Putin's bad, and look at what Trump supported Putin, or was supported by Putin, and all this lies and la about this. And even if you're in the GOP supporting Ukraine, okay, fine, you support Ukraine. I don't support Russia either. I support neither country. I could care less about either country. Putin is not hitting a NATO country. For that matter, he's not hitting a country that's led by somebody who I think is worth us paying attention to. Am I not happy about the fact that Ukrainians were killed? Of course I'm not happy about it. It's a tragedy. It really is. But it's the way of the world. That's the truth. But how much you want to bet when Trump gets in, if Trump is elected, and it's looking like he could be, it looks strong looks of he could be. Think about this. He gets into office. This is a man who has been attacked because he loves women. Seriously. Here's a man that's known for loving women. Here's a man that's known for being kind of a virile, manly kind of person. Everything that the liberals don't like, even though it's even funnier when you think, hey, he was a Democrat. For so long, he was a Democrat. But Trump is having to deal with all of these attacks on him. I don't care how stupid you are when you think that Putin controls him. You know for a fact that if we elect Trump, that it isn't about leadership that he's going in there. Seriously, it's not going to be leadership that's going in there. It's going to be an angry man who has leadership qualities, but he's going to be an angry man. And nobody's going to look at his leadership qualities, which gives him an advantage on the chessboard. Seriously, it gives him an advantage on the chessboard. because mainstream media is going to get on there and they're going to go, well, he's unstable and he's this and he's that. And so they're going to make him out to be something that is vile. And they're going to keep attacking him. And Putin and Xi and the Ayatollahs are going to be looking at him and going, okay, we don't want to mess with him right now. He's got to deal with other stuff right now. If we do something stupid that pisses him off, he may decide to do something that we don't like and we can't do anything about. Because our military, though it may be down right now, can still win in a conventional fight. Think about that for a minute. We can win in a conventional fight. That's the thing that we've been stupid about. Technically, I'm not even going to go into Vietnam. I have that's a long, drawn out thing, and my dislike of the Democrat Party and what they did there, and what that just a lot of anger. CIA, Democrat Party, there's just the news, all that. In Afghanistan, we were fighting an enemy that had the territory. Seriously. They knew the land. Imagine attacking this country. Look at how big this country is. That's the first thing. Anybody that attacks this country is going to have to deal with the sheer size of this country. I don't even think all of Europe is as big as we are. Russia is, but Russia is a Eurasian country. They're partially in Europe and mostly in Asia. China's got a decent amount of land, but they don't have what we have. So, if you attack this country, you're going to have to deal with a bunch of pissed off rednecks because, number one, you're coming into our country. Okay, there may not be a gun behind every blade of grass, but there's enough of us. And then there's people like me. I don't need to own a firearm. I literally have been classified as clinically sadistic. And it's hard some days to keep that in, but I do. I've never attacked anybody because I have other things going on in my brain that's actually able to calm that down. I'll be sitting there acting like I'm the third monkey and the flooding started and Noah's trying to raise the ramp. Believe me, the other two monkeys may not get on board. That's the situation. For some of us, I don't need a firearm. I can play games. And that's the point. We don't have that kind of mentality in office right now. What we have in the Oval Office right now is a person that barely has the cognitive reasoning to be able to understand that he made a mistake by hiring that young kid that shaved their head and was wearing a dress and then got convicted of a sex crime. It just, no. Or maybe it wasn't a sex crime he got convicted of, but he got convicted of something. I don't even know what the dude's name is. And we constantly allow these people to get in power when the Democrats are in power. So you've got to consider this, ladies and gentlemen. You really do. What we are doing in this country by electing these people is saying to the rest of the world, hey, we love the idea of you seeing us weak. because we are weak. When leadership is about leading, Biden doesn't know how to lead. Biden was never a leader. He was an attack dog that nobody liked except as a class clown in Congress. I mean, the man was known to be racist. You take a look at his attacks on Justice Clarence Thomas. Sorry, had a little bit of a brain hiccup. You take a look at his attacks on Clarence Thomas. The whole Anita Hill thing. I was a young kid when I saw that. I actually saw that. I was not in school when they were happening. It might have happened some of the time while I was in school, but I got to see part of those hearings. And I got to hear Anita Hill. I didn't believe her as a kid. Seriously, I didn't believe her as a kid. She just didn't, nothing rang true about her. Maybe it's because I was a kid and just thought that she just sounded silly. But it didn't ring true. Take a look at his comments about blacks being integrated in with his kids. Take a look at his record on creating crimes that primarily hit black people. The man is a racist. Just because he's made some changes on the surface doesn't mean that he's really changed all that much. He was used as an attack dog for so many years. He's never been an intellectual. Everybody knows that he was never an intellectual. So we have this man in the office of president because he was one of the few people that could go toe-to-toe with Trump when it came to being nasty. Okay, fine. But his vice president is Kamala Harris. I ain't even going to go into her. I'm not even going to go into her. Seriously, you should know this. And if you're liberal, listen to me going, why? Don't even. Then throw in that we have Blinken. You can't tell me that he's a serious contender. He should never have been a serious contender for Secretary of State. Ooh, but he held just looking at him. He probably walks in the room and the Russians are trying not to giggle like little schoolgirls. That's offensive to say, little school. I don't care. That's the whole point of what I am trying to tell you right now. He is walking into these situations and is not being considered as anything more than a joke. At no point is Biden being considered by any world leader as anything but a joke. So you're wondering why Iran made sure that the Houthis and the Palestinians, I hate calling them that, I really do. That I'm going to be going into something tomorrow and you'll understand why I don't like calling them that. I know everybody, that's the only way anybody can recognize what I'm saying. But they started attacking because Iran got money from Biden's administration, and it's led to this situation. Sorry, had to take a drink. We've got no leadership in Congress at all. You want to know how I know that? Most of the people this January 6th situation, You know how it could have been stopped? Like, everything could have been stopped, like, in its tracks almost immediately. If there had been some members of Congress that went, why are y'all pushing us somewhere? Why are y'all trying to take us somewhere? A real leader would have gone, no. There's people coming in the building. I bet if we have a conversation with them, we can stop them, because you've seen the tapes. If you haven't seen the tapes that have been released a few months ago, you're missing out. These folks weren't rioting. They weren't breaking stuff. They were waving to the cops, talking to the cops. The FBI agents had to get them to do something, and they were literally walking around like they were tourists. Any member of Congress should have gone, even if they didn't know that. Any member of Congress should have gone, these are the people. According to the First Amendment, they have a right to have their issues listened to by us. Think I'm kidding. Look it up. I'm not joking. Nobody does it anymore, but it's the truth. Any member of Congress who was a true leader would have gone over to them, gone out to them. Okay, maybe they would have had to they would have had to grab a few of these cops, but these cops, you saw what these cops were doing in these videos. If you haven't, seriously, look this stuff up. I think Benny Johnson has them. I forget who else has them. These members of Congress could have gone there, even if they thought that they were close to rioting. Even if they thought that they were close to having problems. A leader would have walked out there and said, hey guys, what's going on? Let's have a conversation. But they didn't. They ran. That's not the actions of a leader. Now, the president can be forced into it. Members of Congress, that many members of Congress, you can't force that many people to go running. Not to mention, how much you want to bet that those guards really aren't that up to date on wanting to keep all of them safe at all times. So, that's what we've got in this country. We've got a former president who will probably be president again. And while he already understands leadership, nobody's going to want to mess with him out there. Everybody's going to know that by the time he makes it in the office, he will be an angry individual. You've got members of Congress who have no right to call themselves leaders. I don't care who you think's conservative, who you think's liberal. They can be conservative and liberal, and they are conservative and liberal, and middle of the road and all this other stuff, but they aren't leaders. Leaders lead. What they did was not leading. It was being led. On top of the fact of that, you notice how cities are getting burnt down. The National Guard doesn't get called in to deal with cities being burnt down, but you have some folks that are considered conservative going to hold a rally, and you're already talking about calling out the National Guard even before that happens, and the FBI is infiltrating them and leading them down whatever path that they're leading them down. Yeah, there's something funny going on there. That whole thing that day just smacks of a setup. There's too much. If you're liberal and you're going, there's too much proof out there. And you don't even have to listen to me. Don't even listen to me. Seriously, go look it up. It's already out there. If I present it to you, you're still going to complain, so you need to go looking for it. The truth's out there, dude. Do that. Whatever. Dude, they... What do you... How do you do to person who's they them? I'm now wondering. I'm wondering how you do to Demonkin. I'm sorry, that's always going to be my. I'm going to go after them more than I am anybody else because if you're calling yourself Demonkin, I've got problems with you because, well, you're fucked in the head. You really are. But, ladies and gentlemen, we need to fix what is going wrong in this country. And we need leadership to do that. And we really don't have that. I don't care what you think. We've got a president. Well, hopefully he will be the president because I don't want Biden in there. I will support Trump just for the simple fact of that we need somebody that isn't Biden in there. I have said many times that I don't support Trump, but I'm actually going to vote for the man. I'm looking over the world and I'm going, we need to get him out of office. And what I'm looking to now is once we get Trump in office, then I'm looking to 2028. We've got to worry about that election. I'm not worried when Trump comes in office. I'm really not. I know he's going to have to fight a lot of things, and he's going to have to force the Republican Party to do things that they don't want to do. But I'm looking towards 2028. We need to find the person that is going to be the next person that can be in office for 8 years. We need to move to that. We need to get to that next part. We can't let the Democrats are already looking forward to 2028. Don't think that they're not. We need to look to 2028. Don't tell me one of the other Trumps. I'm anti-dynasty. I'm already barely liking Trump. He's just going to be amusing when he gets in office. Seriously. I want him in office just to watch these world leaders go, yeah, no, we're not messing with him right now. You don't think, or you think I'm joking with you. Ain't nobody going to want to mess with that man. They're going to start going, all these talks of China invading Taiwan. No. He is going to look at Trump and go, yeah, not today. We're going to wait till he calms down a lot. But all joking aside, this lack of leadership in Washington, D.C. is causing what is going on in the world. Somebody told me they wanted me to talk about Putin. Okay, well, here's what it is. We have allowed ourselves too much foreign entanglement. So when we had real men in office, we didn't have this problem. They backed off. That was the difference between Carter and Reagan. They backed off. Now we have a situation in which we do not have a good leader that has been in office other than the 4 years of Trump. And he used what the mainstream media was saying about him to bring about some of the sanity that he brought about. So we need to work on who we're electing. And we need to start thinking to 2028. I'm not saying that this election's over, but I'm saying right this minute we need to start thinking about what's going to happen in 2028. We cannot allow the Democrats to have any more power. They bring too much chaos, and I'm not a person that believes in helping the agents of chaos. Just no. Before you go, I want to talk about two things real quick. One, There is a person that goes by Western Critique on Rumble, BitChute, and Odyssey. Uh, been talking to him. Pretty smart fella. Saw one of his videos. Pretty good video. He's a Canadian, so he's seeing what the loss of freedom can do. So he's somebody that if you get a chance, go look at his channel and see if you can appreciate what he says. Also, I posted a Samuel Adams video. It's purely history, that's why I didn't post it to a lot of places. But if you like what you heard here, or would like to know more about Samuel Adams and his fight for freedom for education, go ahead and check my channels. So, just to let y'all know, again, like, subscribe, and comment. This is Paul, the Redneck Thinker. Have a good day.